If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. One of the things I hope everybody out there is keeping an eye on is the push towards a cashless society and the mark of the beast. We have so many things that are distracting us, but there's been so much going on underneath people's noses that they aren't even noticing stuff like this going on. And I'm going to show you some bills that have been passed recently and some major headlines that are even referring, USA Today, coming out of nowhere saying Americans won't have microchips implanted by the end of 2020, deflecting off of the fact that so many people are talking about the RFID chip and the vax that's coming and the mark of the beast. So they're even bringing that up there, saying, articles are going crazy out there talking about the federal government being very influential with the revolutionized RFID chip. They could see every move that we make. Well, they pretty much already can, even with this tracking stuff going on with the C-19. Then they say your food and money will be managed with these chips. And they go on to say the reality of chips in 2020. So, wow, to the reality in 5 months of having the chip. Oh, that's groundbreaking news. It could happen in January 2021. I'm saying radio frequency RFID chips have been commercially available in various forms since the 70s. It refers to a wireless system of tags and readers that communicate via radio waves. As the article goes on, they talk about the putting in the chip, implanting the chip in humans, and they say, well, it remains uncommon and unpopular. Well, that's not going to last long because they're still desensitizing people and preparing them for it. It's like I always say, when the cell phone first came out, everybody wasn't running in line to get one. They were going, well, what do I need that for? When Facebook first came out, everybody wasn't signing up. They were going, oh, that's lame. I don't want to be on there. Now, if you're not on there, you're weird. People are like, you don't have it? Like I said with my flip phone, people look at me like I'm from another planet. Let alone the fact I have a cell phone. I mean, shouldn't that be enough? But it's not an iPhone. Well, they're going to do the same thing. They'll work this into people. They're going to have the celebrities have the chip. The celebrities are going to be the ones who go around using it casually on TV shows like the Kardashians and influencing people. And that's how they start all this stuff. And then it becomes the new norm because people become desensitized. Just like you can look at the mask now, right? At first, people were like, are you kidding me with this mask thing? Now, if you're not wearing it and you go to the store, people stare at you like you're in the movie They Live and they have the glasses on and they see some type of creature from another planet. Oh, he doesn't have his mask on. Somebody should inform the manager at the store. Excuse me, sir, could you put your mask on? Right? Because everyone's not desensitized to it. They're ready. They know they go in their car to have their mask with them. They're not forgetting it. That's how quickly that's happened. So that's how quick the RFID is going to happen. But what has to happen first is the removal of money. And now this is one of the stories that's come out. I was talking about how we're supposedly in the middle of a coin shortage, right? This made up nonsense. Oh, there's not enough coins, so nobody's getting exact change. Well, the New York Times released an article yesterday or today that says, will the penny survive? And they're hoping that it won't. Coins in circulation have become scarcer because fewer people are using them. And now there's questions about whether or not the penny is going to survive. A nationwide coin shortage caused by the outbreak has revived a debate. Is now the time to eliminate the penny? So during lockdowns, consumers have stayed home and avoided emptying their piggy banks of coins in exchange for paper money. Shoppers also opted to rely on credit cards and debit cards instead of touching cash. Of course, we've heard that whole thing, right? Because nobody wants to exchange the cash. You might catch it. All part of the agenda behind it. They said with coins in short supply, the Federal Reserve formed the U.S. Coin Task Force, which will make recommendations on ways to cope with the shortage. The shortage has led to renewed discussions about the fate of the penny, which has seen its purchasing power fall because of inflation while its production costs have risen. And then they interview somebody like any of us actually care. These are the fakest parts of the story. They just make these names up, right? The New York Times here interviewing Sunday White, a 46-year-old small business owner in San Francisco who said the coin shortage was one more reason to retire the penny. Huh? First of all, who is this and why do we care? Oh, you just made the person up so we could feel influence. And Miss White says, I hate pennies. And that they're so useless, she usually throws them on the ground when she gets them back as change. And she says, they're so stupid. What an intellectual answer. And it says, even before the coin shortage, she already priced her greeting cards and coloring books at 50 cents or $1 increments. That way, there wouldn't be an inconvenience of having to use pennies because it's such an inconvenience now. Apparently, when we get change, we all take the pennies out and we throw them on the ground and spike them like a football. I mean, really? Never heard of this. This is how they work. This is how they just plant seeds in people's heads. And they said each penny costs 2 cents to produce. So to make one penny, it costs 2 cents to make a penny. That's another way they'll tell you that we need to get rid of it because it's cost effective, right? And we'll hear the same thing with a quarter. We'll hear the same thing with cash. This is the route we're going on, and this is what happened with, while everybody's been sleeping. Remember, they always pass these bills. Well, they came out with the Banking for All Act. That's right, the Banking for All Act, which passed. I believe it passed July 1st or June 30th, maybe was the date. And what this act is cited as the Banking for All Act. Digital dollars, the term digital dollars means dollar balances consisting of digital ledger entries recorded as liabilities in the accounts of any Federal Reserve Bank. Digital dollar wallets, the term digital dollar wallet means a digital wallet or account maintained by a Federal Reserve Bank on behalf of any person. And they're pretty much saying that all these banks that have an excess amount of, I believe it's $10 billion or $100 billion, they have the number in here. Hold on, I don't want to mess that up unless I can't find it. Going through these things is like pulling teeth, these laws and these acts that get passed. It's somewhere along those lines that all of these banks are going to be required to have digital wallets and a digital currency. And you can see here that there's people who oppose it. We the People has a petition which barely has any signatures, 1,000. But again, like that's going to stop them. And the bill, it pretty much says the Federal Reserve banks maintain digital dollar wallets for the general public. Member banks shall open and maintain pass-through digital dollar wallets for everyone. It has to be available for everyone. The Bill Gates patent, the 060606, which I covered. The cryptocurrency system using body activity data was filed 3 days after this bill's introduction, which was 3 months prior to it, I believe, being passed, which would cause the removal of the physical currency. And this is exactly what they want. So this is stuff people don't talk about because they go, well, why? I use a credit card anyway, or what's the difference? It's easier. I don't need change. Everything's PayPal. The problem with that is that soon everything's going to be inside you in a chip. Okay? By removing the penny, by removing the coin, by saying stuff like this, by just having small propaganda articles where people are talking about getting change and then throwing the change like it's not worth anything because it's a hassle to have pennies in your wallet or pennies in a piggy bank that you can go and dump into a machine and get cash back anyway for. They want to convince you that it's a bad thing. They want to convince you that there's a shortage when it makes no sense whatsoever that there would be a shortage because what? People aren't going out, people aren't spending, so there's a shortage? What does that mean? Huh? They print money. They make coins. Make more. How's that? And we're supposed to cost 2 cents to make a 1 penny? Oh, yeah. Sure, that's just another way of getting people to go, well, it doesn't make sense for us to do it. We're in enough debt in our country. It's a joke. The fact that they're talking about this in the mainstream, and again, I want to give you guys the number in case you want to look up the bill. It's S3571. That's S3571. And it's to require banks to maintain pass-through digital dollar wallets for people, all people. Require banks to, the act is cited as the Banking for All Act. So that's in case anyone wants to look this up for themselves and what this potentially means. And the fact that you're hearing this in the mainstream, that the New York Times has to release articles talking about, it doesn't look like we're going to have microchips implanted in us in 2020. They always have to bring this stuff up because they know the pulse of the people and they know that they're not ready for it, but they're getting them ready for it. They're getting them ready for a cashless society. All of these things are happening at once like dominoes falling. And this is the end time period. This is what the book of Revelation tells us. You won't be able to buy or sell without taking the mark. Cash will be gone. Digital will be king, and it will be implanted inside of your body. And this is transhumanism. It's microchipping. It's frightening stuff that we all have to be prepared for and have to reject, no matter how difficult it might be, because there's no coming back from taking the mark. And for those who don't believe it, well, read the book of Revelation and look around you and tell me you can't see prophecy being fulfilled. It's amazing how accurate the Bible is, because it's 100% accurate. And people still look at it and they're like, nah. I hear people who are so ridiculous. They're like, no, don't you know that they're following the Bible because of idiots like you, the Christian idiots out there, and they're mocking you? Yeah, oh, absolutely. What? Huh? Boy, couldn't be more obvious the time period we're living in. But don't fear, we are on the winning team. It's just a matter of enduring while we're here on earth. I want to thank everyone for listening to today's show. A reminder, if you haven't already, check out my website at callforanuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. Definitely check it out if you haven't. I want to thank the Patrons. I thank all of you constantly for your support and loyalty. It means the world to me. I'm pretty worn down, but you guys keep me going. So thank you so much again. God bless you and your families.